the Kobe and Shaq Lakers, the San Antonio Spurs, the Golden State Warriors, and now the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm calling it right here and right now. Health permitting, the Milwaukee Bucks will be a dynasty. Giannis Antetokounmpo will be a top 10 player of all time, and Damian Lillard will end up being a top 10 point guard in NBA history. That is what's on the table for the Milwaukee Bucks, and I'm urging you to buy all the stock that you can get on this team dominating the league for years to come. The reason for this couldn't be simpler. Ever since Kevin Durant left the Warriors to form his own path, the NBA has seen so much parity. We haven't had a repeat champion since 2018. Ever since that super team was broken up, there's not been a single juggernaut since the turn of the decade. The closest team to meet that criteria was the 2022 Phoenix Suns when they won 64 games. That is the only team of the 2020s that has won over 60 games in the regular season. Now guess which team has been the closest to winning 60 games? The 2023 Milwaukee Bucks, which won 58 games. That's the second highest win total by any team of this decade. And now they're adding Damian Lillard? Are you kidding me? This team was already great without him. Before all the injuries that they had prior to the start of the playoffs, they were favored to win the title. But now, I believe they are going to waste no time terrorizing the league. The Bucks already have arguably the greatest player on the planet. We know the damage he was doing on the court without a bona fide superstar at his side. He's never had an all-time great player on his team at any point in his career. Now he has that. He has a player that was getting the Steph Curry treatment last year. I'm talking about being guarded the full length of the court. Damian Lillard averaged a career-high 32.2 points on 46% shooting last season. That is pretty efficient for a volume scorer who is averaging over 11 3-point field goal attempts per game. May I remind you that he had a 71-point game, a 60-point game, and a 50-point game last season. That was with Anthony Simmons as his best teammate. Now imagine what he's going to do with Giannis as his teammate. Giannis receives so much attention from the opposing defense every time he crosses half court. He is unstoppable when he's in one-on-one situations. That's going to open up so many opportunities for Lillard to do his thing. And when he gets scorching hot from the field, what can anyone do to stop them? Now this is coming from a Lakers fan. I'm somebody who witnessed Kobe and Shaq in their prime dominate the league. But I call it as I see it. They could possibly have the same kind of effect as Kobe and Shaq did in the early 2000s. They will easily be the highest scoring duo in the NBA, and that is an advantage that hardly any other teams will have in the Eastern Conference. The only team in the East that could possibly contend with that is the Boston Celtics, who have Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. That's about it. Just with their talent alone, they should be heavily favored to represent the East come June of next year. But here's the underrated part of this deal. The Bucks were somehow able to keep Chris Middleton. I believe he's going to thrive in his new role. With all the attention Giannis and Damian are going to receive on a game-to-game basis, he's going to find so many easy scoring opportunities. They have an additional player who will be a threat to scoring 20 points at any given moment. That's not to mention all the open 3-point looks that Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis, and Javon Carter will be receiving. There is no question that this team did not go backwards with this deal. They are unquestionably better, and the only question mark that they have is how quickly these two players can form chemistry on the court. That is it. Once they figure it out, it is over for the rest of the NBA. If you think I'm exaggerating about this team being a dynasty, consider this next important point. Giannis or Damian isn't considered to be a flight risk. They have that old school mentality of sticking with your team through thick and thin. Giannis has expressed many times that he does not want to leave Milwaukee, and we saw how long it took Damian to finally give up on Portland. He should have left a long time ago, but he was loyal to his team. There is no reason to believe that will change. All that these two players care about is winning championships. They are both in the best position that they have ever been. They have what they want, and I don't foresee them leaving this ideal situation unless something dramatic happens. We're also talking about players that are known as being great teammates. There is never any drama surrounding them. That's a personality trait that goes well with Giannis. This is an important aspect because the last few superstar tandems have been broken up because of locker room drama. They don't know how to check their egos. History tells us that this won't be a problem with this new superstar duo. The championship foundation is in place. Outside noise will not be much of a distraction for this team. All they have to do is simply execute and find ways to sacrifice their games in order to make this experiment work. Once that happens, which team is going to stop them? Out in the East is the Miami Heat, the Boston Celtics, and the Philadelphia 76ers. Those are the biggest threats. But how much of a threat are they? The Sixers are a hot mess with the James Harden situation, and their team can look much different once the playoffs start. The 44-38 Miami Heat have not gone better from the previous year. The Boston Celtics have lost their defensive identity, and it is unclear if the roster moves they've made will make them any better. I don't see any of those three teams beating the Bucks in a 7-game series now or in the future. Giannis could potentially give the East the LeBron James treatment by reaching the finals every year until the day he decides he's bored with it. Out in the West, there's a whole other situation. Aside from the Nuggets, there are a bunch of teams who have stars who are way past their apex. Those players include LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul, and Klay Thompson. The window of opportunity to win multiple titles is now, as we transition past the 2010 generation of NBA superstars. Now I will say that the Denver Nuggets are in good position to contend for a title in the years to come, and the Phoenix Suns did add some much needed depth. I'm not saying that they couldn't give the Bucks a run for their money, but when we're talking about the best duo in the NBA, Giannis and Damian Lillard are better than the duos that's in Denver or Phoenix. In the NBA, star power wins 95% of the time, and the Bucks have that, and then some. This trade could go down as one of the biggest in NBA history. Giannis got what he wanted, and so did Damian. All we have to do is wait and see how they bring it all together. As you can see, I have super high hopes for this team. But what about you all? Do you think that the Bucks can be a dynasty, or are you not sold on this team? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.